Hey, it's Helene. Welcome back to another episode of Pop and Talk, where I drink a pop and talk because that's the aim of the game. And today, we are actually not drinking a pop. We are drinking a boba drink from Yin's Tea in Portland, Oregon. If you guys are ever in town and looking for a boba shop to go to, that is a high recommended place from yours truly. I'm drinking the Pinky Pinky. It's a strawberry yogurt jasmine tea situation with boba. We're gonna take a sip. Just a little ASMR for you guys, as always. And I gotta chew the boba, of course. I love a good boba drink, guys. And speaking of things that I love, today's topic is extremely near and dear to my heart, to my soul. There are not enough words in any language to ever fully describe how important this one particular thing is to me. And so we're going to get into it. Hopefully in the span of the 30 minutes that I usually run my podcast episodes. But if we go a little bit over time, just know it's because I am trying so hard to convey the fullness of this particular topic. So, today we are going to be talking about dun 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 Sebastian Stan and his importance in my life and the reason why I love him, not just as an actor but also as a person. And you know how I love to get philosophical with my explanations, so I will also be talking about the reasons in which he has impacted me personally based on his actions and like the inspiration that I get from him. All that. We're going to get into as much of it as I can. And I was actually inspired to make this particular episode because of a girl that I met on TikTok who talked about Sebastian Stan as being the standard. And let me pull up her page so I don't get her stuff wrong. Her name is Brianna Herman. So, Brie, if you're listening to this, whatever time, whatever day, thank you so much for, supporting and bringing this up to me, and also just like engaging with my TikTok and just like following me and just like being a support. I appreciate you. It is me, you, and Sebastian Stan against the world, as I have said. And yeah, thank you. This episode is dedicated to you. Oh, and then also I have my little sister slash new friend as well who lives in PH. She is also somebody who has been supporting and loves Sebastian Stan as well. So honorable mention to my little lady Cass. It's your ate. That means big sister in Tagalog, my language. So yeah, I have to put those shout outs first because I do adore you guys and I really am thankful. I had to take a sigh because we're just right into the gates. And it's so serious for me. I actually did make notes and I did pull up a lot of my history with this man from Snapchat memories and also just my own personal memory as well, because he is so ingrained in my life that it really wasn't hard for me to figure out all of those different things that, all of those different implementations of him just being here with me. So, we're going to start off. I did write down some questions just to keep me level-headed when I'm talking about this, because I do get very passionate and I do get very involved. And so I just was like, if I streamline it just a little bit, I might be able to just be a little bit more focused than usual. So, thank you. So the first question that I wrote in my notes: when did you first love Sebastian Stan? Controversial answer is my entire life, meaning that the universe itself made me so that I would still be in the same universe as Sebastian Stan. That's the controversial answer. The real answer is that I fell in love with him as an actor um when he played Bucky Barnes, of course. That's usually the main gateway into Sebastian Stan. I don't know why I said his name like that. Sebastian Stan. That's usually the main gateway. But if I was really going to talk about his appearance overall and like his history with me, that was like the one that really cemented the love and made me look more into his filmography and him as a person and his interviews and stuff like that and his personal history. But when I first actually watched another movie, it led me to watching a movie with him in it that made me a little bit more curious about him in general. So it was The Covenant, and it was because I liked War and Peace from Sky High that I ended up watching The Covenant. Because when I watched that movie, I was like, oh, this guy's like really attractive. And me with my usual movie hyperfixations. Now, mind you, like if we don't know about this already, I went and watched one movie like 24 times in the movie theater, and I watched like another one like 10 times. Like it's just I'm very much a hyper fixated. If I like a movie, I will watch it. I will obsess over it. And so it's like I will go and look for the actors and just like kind of go into that rabbit hole. So when I liked War and Peace, I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to watch another movie with him in it. And it was The Covenant, and he was the main guy in it. And then I watched that movie for him, and I came out the other end not giving a fuck about him anymore and literally only liking Sebastian Stan. And that right there was just enough for me to just go down even deeper into the rabbit hole. Now, I'm not going to say that the rest of the cast wasn't goated and that I didn't like them. That's actually just like really just like the most dramatic thing to say. That movie had literally the most attractive cast I've ever encountered. They just picked every single person who had the face card that was so lethal that like they were just killing girls at that point. They had that kind of cast, including the women. And I just like remember thinking to myself, of course he was playing the villain. Sebastian Stan was playing the villain, and I was like, that one's mine. Like at the end of the day, that was mine. The second one to that was Chase Crawford. Now, we're gonna go deeper into that rabbit hole because I only watched Gossip Girl for the simple fact that Sebastian Stan was in it. Every single season that I watched, I realized that he wasn't like going to be completely in the actual seasons, but he was like over time always reintroduced. I would specifically watch those episodes. And then, you know, of course, like I love Chase Crawford as well, so I did love the fact that like he was also in there. But Sebastian Stan was my main motivation. So I only really watched Gossip Girl for him. And so then, you know, if we go into the rabbit hole further, we go into the Captain America First Avenger hyperfixation. And that one stamped so deeply into my core that I even had my background for my laptop as this sketch. This sketch of him. I wish I knew how to credit this person, but I don't. I'm going to show this on my YouTube. For everybody who's listening on Spotify, this is a sketch that I used to like have as my background for my phone and for my laptop, because it's like him as like 1940s Bucky. It's the scene where he's literally looking at Steve, and Steve is still like that shrimpy, tiny Brooklyn guy who didn't know how to walk away from a fight. Like that's that scene, and he has his hat tilted and he has his army uniform on. Like that was in my dreams. It was serious for me at that point, you know what I mean? And so I had that as my background, and I didn't want to be so cookie cutter about how much I loved him, but I wanted everybody to know that like that was something that like was really important to me. So yeah, of course it was going to be my background, right? But that was like that for like the longest time. And also, yeah, I'm going to pull out some of the Snapchats just from this era in general. The Covenant, I am going to do my best to not show well, actually, I don't care about my personal digital footprint, because like we've already seen me at every stage of life. So for everybody who's just listening, but everybody who's watching the YouTube video, you'll see it. But I'm just describing it for the listeners. We serve our master, and we just see Sebastian Stan in the Covenant in the back, and this is circa like 2015. Um, we have oh this. Turn around, Bucky. Turn around. Turn around. It was serious. It was so serious for us. That's also circa 2015. It if you didn't think we were about it, August 13th, 1982 is his birthday. How do I know that? Because every year on my friends and I's like friend anniversary, we would make a cake and put icing on it that said happy birthday Sebastian and eat it and like sing happy birthday and watch all of his movies. That was our friend anniversary day. And the reason why that's important is because of the simple fact that like we just did it very low budget. Like we didn't have no money, no nothing like to get anything crazy. Ink was crazy expensive, so we couldn't do like the print out all of Sebastian Stan, like put them on the cake. We were like, bro, like the ink is so expensive. Like, so we just did like the icing and just called it a day. Oh my gosh. Like that is like a monumental part of our friendship. And so it's like Sebastian Stan was bringing my friendships together. He was solidifying my connection with my best friend that I have still to this day. Like that is something that is stamped in our own like personal history. So like that is how serious it was for us. We got our Sebastian cake. In terms of Captain America First Avenger, when Bucky catches Steve's shield and you just see me zooming in on my own face, it was that serious, guys. Like there's no like doubt about it, you know? And so imagine, you know, you're being a young girl just enjoying the filmography of one actor. And so it's just like this particular man like put me on a deeper journey into loving movies, because when I started liking Sebastian Stan, that was when I started realizing how important like acting is. Like it was like this feeling that I got where every single time that I would watch a movie of his, I would see him become a different person, like a completely different person. And I respected that skill so much. And he would play like literally any guy. And like at the core, that is Sebastian Stan. But he would be able to perfectly portray somebody with just like every skill that you have as an actor. So like the eyes and the emotion and the delivery of the lines. And so it's just kind of this thing of like I got really 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 into movies because of him, actually. I had always loved movies. Like that was the biggest pastime that we had as children. My dad and my mom and my brother and I would go watch movies. But with Sebastian Stan, it was like I would watch a different movie of his because I loved him so much, and then I would see that skill set, that like dedication, like that manifestation of just him doing like art, like him being creative and like taking a character and literally like being it on camera. And that was when I realized that like acting is an art form. It's like literally an art form. And I literally saw that seeing Sebastian Stan. And so that's why he will always be my number one favorite actor. He'll never not be my favorite actor. That number one spot is locked and loaded. It is never changing. It is never going to change. And it's because with every single role that I've ever seen him play, he has done it so well that I have to just sit in awe of him every single time I watch him be in anything. And it could be the absolute most unconventional, and it usually is, the most unconventional, most out of the box role. Some role that I wouldn't, if I was an actor and I was trying to pick a role that I would want to do, and it's like some crazy crazy story that like has like the absolute worst person ever, I would look at that and be like, "Ooh, I don't want that on my list of like roles I've done." But for Sebastian Stan, it's like he just takes that challenge and he just goes for it. He takes that and he's like, "You know what? We can work with this." And that's such a commendable trait. Like that's something so inspiring. Like he will take roles that are literally the craziest roles you've ever seen. For instance, he played Trump. Like who wants to play that? But of course, it's him gonna. He's of course it's gonna be Sebastian Stan because he's just that kind of person. Like he's literally perfect for these roles that you never expect. Like, and so also like to add to that too, um, it's just like him being able to transform as a person, and like it's so not him. He's like this thoughtful guy, like a positive energy, like a positive force. Like every single person that talks about him talks so highly of him, and I believe it because like I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like it's somebody that like who who has come from a place of like struggle, and he's an immigrant. He's from Romania, and he understands what that means. And so I respect him on a deeper level. Like after I learned that, like he went for his dreams all the way, and he saw them through, and he did what he could to like get himself to the point that he's at right now, and that is like so inspiring. But it's like because you look at him and you're like, oh, like this is an attractive man. Of course he's attractive, like 100%. Like, but the skills match the face. All right, the face card is lethal, but so is the acting. And so like that overall is just like so jaw dropping. I'm gonna take a sip. Because I need to like calm down and just like meld with the moment real quick because I'm getting rambly because I'm getting very passionate. I can feel it. So let me just take a little sippy. Um, mhm, mhm. I needed that. I did. I did. Another screen recording. I'll show you guys from when. I'm so sorry. It's probably disgusting hearing me chew. ASMR again. Another screen recording of when we went and watched Black Panther, and he was in the end credit scene, and like it was so serious for us back then. I miss those days, honestly. Like those were really good peak Marvel days when we would just like be so excited. Like that was like such a memorable day for us all if we're really going to talk about it when Black Panther came out. Um but yeah, what else can I get into? I talked about the history. I talked about my personal love, a little bit about the inspiration that I get from him. Um oh, you know what? I just want to get funny for like, really quickly about it. I've realized that like all of the roles that he has, he's usually like not wearing like normal clothes. And I always like to talk about that because like you see him as like Bucky Barnes, he's usually wearing like black, like tactical gear or something like that. Um in in Fresh, this is another role that is absolutely insane, by the way. It's literally about this guy that eats people and sells girls' meat to other people who also eat people. Literally about a cannibalist. And it is the only movie as of late, as of recently, where he's worn just like regular clothes. Like it was like the most normal seeming like role, and then later it just gets into that cannibalism. But it's like we finally see him in like a hoodie and jeans and just sneakers. And I don't know why I craved that so badly for him, but it was just like the only time I've ever seen him like truly wear regular clothing in a while. And it was just so refreshing, pun intended, because it's called Fresh. But like, then like, of course he's playing another crazy person, which by the way, like every single line delivery that he has is always so perfect. And I always have to just talk about that because like it it just boggles my mind. It doesn't matter if the runtime for the movie, if he's like in it for like 5 minutes or the whole time. Every time that he delivers something, it's just so like it's so perfect every time. Like it's just like I cannot see anybody else playing that role, or like I cannot see any other way that like somebody would be able to deliver that. You know what I mean? So like that is just so jaw dropping to me, of course. Um because I was just thinking about this, like the way that he says "you fucking bitch" in Fresh, like because like the girl that he is the main lead escapes and he's like running after her and he's just like "you fucking bitch," and it's just so funny to me. And that's also like in another movie that I absolutely love with him in it is Hot Tub Time Machine. Sorry, I had to look for this clip. But while I was looking for it, of course, I was in my archives of YouTube and I found my personal playlist that says favorite Sebastian Stan videos. And it has interviews, the like literally like the most obscure interviews from like 10 years ago or like whatever how many years ago. One of them is even private. That's how like crazy it is. Had to go look for that. And yeah, I pulled up the Hot Tub Time Machine compilation of his like scenes. There's one quote that I used to quote like so much during the year that I watched this, and I have to play it for you guys. I have to. Um let's see. And then let me just give you the context of like Hot Tub Time Machine if you've never watched it. It's basically about these group of friends that like ends up going in a hot tub and it's a time machine and then they go back to like 1980 and it's like during like this time when they're at this ski resort and Sebastian Stan plays this guy named Chaz Blaine, I think that's what it is, and he's just this asshole. and, and like he's like the ski patrol guy and like they're at this resort and like he was like the bully, and so there's like one scene in it that is like so hilarious. I gotta hold on. Oh my gosh, I really want to. I don't want to like bombard you guys with the sound before it starts. Hold on. Okay. Oh my, there it is. Okay, perfect. It's going to run like for like 2-ish minutes, I think. Hold up, y'all. This is perfect. Okay, and I'll show you like I love this movie. I gotta rewatch it. I'm gonna rewatch it after this, okay? Let's see.
I know that guy. We're not gonna find him here anyway. I don't even remember what he looks like.
Walk like a faggot?
Sorry.
What? No, don't touch me. Fuck you, sorry. You scuffed over my Jordans. Hey, huh? You wanna go for it? Huh? Come on, take a shot, pussy. You wanna party? Wanna be a hero? Hero?
And here it comes.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna cry? You're gonna cry, kitty baby? Huh? You're gonna fucking cry? Look at him, he's crying. Fucking back's mine now.
I just like it's so incredibly stark from who he is as an actual person that when I rewatch this, I literally think to myself, actual Sebastian Stan would never say this, but he was so good at playing a complete ass in this movie that it was just kind of this thing of like, and for everybody who does not see it, my jaw is dropped. Speaking of this movie, I actually watched this clip of the man who had made it, and he said like he picked Sebastian Stan particularly because his audition video was him as Chaz, as the character, just living in the way, like in the apartment that he lived in. So like it was like he was playing the character in the audition video, like playing the music, like dancing and playing the music, and like he had the hair and like he was opening the fridge and like it was just like him, and like it was like the day in the life of this character. That's so creative. It was so creative, so out of the box, so like dedicated, you know what I mean? And so I love this movie. Definitely gonna watch it after this because it's so funny. I need to like relive it. But yeah, like these are just the executions of Sebastian Stan as an actor, where I will rewatch his stuff and go, yeah, that was funny. I'm gonna quote this. This is part of my personality now. Like, I will be quoting this, and I did. I used to say, like, "You gonna cry? You gonna cry, titty baby? Huh? You gonna fucking cry?" And then, like, if I was at the grocery store or something, picking up the bag, like, off of the freaking rack at the Walmart, I go, "Oh, this fucking bag's mine now." Like, what was I doing? Like, it was just like, he was just so ingrained in my life. Like, it was just so important to me. um but yeah, I really do absolutely adore the guy. As an actor, as a person, of course. But if we're gonna get like into like him as just like being a person, and just like outside of that, and his like history, for everybody who doesn't know, I went to the Barnes and Noble yesterday, and like, whenever you guys will be listening to this, I went on the 19th of May to find this issue of Sebastian Stan for Vanity Fair. I toiled for this. Um, I didn't toil that crazily. I actually found it very easily. I walked into the Barnes and Noble, like I only walked in for like 5 minutes and then found it. But I did see like all of the other magazines and got a little bit distracted. But I found him, and the reason why I wanted it was because obviously I need to support the man. Favorite actor, you gotta do it. You gotta do what you gotta do. When you gotta go, you gotta go. That's a quote. That's another quote from Captain America, First Avenger, and Winter Soldier, and Civil War. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Me being a nerd. I started skimming it in the store, but then I had to stop because I was like getting an audience, or I felt like I was getting an audience, and that was just like a really intimate moment for me because I do love him so much. So I had to go home and read it. And then what I didn't expect was when I would start to read it, I was going to start tearing up. That's what I didn't expect. Uh, I didn't expect that. And the reason why is because I will continue to talk about the fact that there is some sort of feeling that I get over the fact that the universe has placed me in the same timeline as him. That's the woo-woo spiritual, like, philosophical part of me that I just cannot like get rid of, because there was this particular part in his story, in this spread, something that he said that could honestly be very much a general statement, but because it's from him and because I've followed him for so long, it feels like I've followed him my entire life. When I read this, it made me cry because it made me remember like all of these different moments in my life when I was young where I felt extremely alone, and then also just like toiled with like independence as a kid, and it just made me remember all those times when I felt all of these emotions, and all of these different things. And I just remember going, oh, but like during this time, the person who didn't make me really feel that alone was Sebastian Stan. And so it's just kind of like this connection of like, oh, I just read this part of your story that I never knew that was part of your story. I never knew this about you. And I've followed you this whole way through, and like I have this deep connection with something that's happened to you. And like it was also something equally as sad and equally as like maybe we'll go all the way to that point of like traumatizing, and you were the person that helped me with that problem that you had. It's like full circle in a way that's very beautiful to me, and another reason why I absolutely adore him. But we'll get into it. So he's Romanian, and he is from Romania, and so he is an immigrant, and I come from parents who are immigrants, but I was born here. And he says something that is something that my dad very much believed in. And for everybody who doesn't know my lore, because I know who's watching and who isn't, and I very much am somebody who just is very honest, and I just say things because this is just what it is. It's the truth. My father had a stroke last year, and he doesn't really remember who I am, but we were very close growing up. And he always had this mentality of America that was completely different from like anybody that I ever really talked to. He had like a very good relationship with America. He left the Philippines in 1980 to go and live here. So like it's like there's like a different rebuilding to that, and he actually spent more time in America than he did in the Philippines. And while he still has this identity of being Filipino and being that person, he is also somebody who raised me to be American, but he has immigrant values that placed me in this position where I feel grateful to be somebody who's born here. And so like it was kind of like this feeling of like growing up and like yeah, I'm from immigrant parents and I have the privilege of being born here, but I have the same mentality as them. And so he pointed something out about his father who was this man who helped people in like during the time of the communist reign in Romania to help people escape, and like he did all of these different things for them. And like he says this quote that just like helped me remember like my dad, and it was just something that was so like stark to me. So he says, Ooh. In Romania, Tino, his dad, was legendary for sneaking contraband Western goods like blue jeans and bananas into the country while smuggling dissidents out aboard the same vessels. He worked hard, and he loved America, and he believed in being free, Stan says. I have always made the argument that immigrants, to some extent, are more patriotic than even the people that are born here because they don't take things for granted. At least that's what I saw in my father. And, like, he talks about that, like, difficult relationship, like, kind of, like, being estranged and all of that kind of thing. And I feel that, like, very deeply because before my dad had a stroke, like, we were just, like, I just was not on good terms with the man, you know what I mean? Like, and so, like, it's like that deeper feeling of like, yeah, like he put these values into me, and like there's like some sort of like connection that I have with that. And then like during those last times, like there were times in that moment where, of course, like there was like a deeper love that I had for the man, but like also like he was doing some crazy stuff, and I just didn't feel so connected to him as I did growing up because we were close, and I did, but I read this and I was like crying about it because I was like, that's something my dad would say, 100%. Like, that is, like, my father to the T, and he just said it, and I go, oh my gosh. And then I turn the page, and he starts talking about his mom, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, we're getting to this point, because he is talking about when he was young, and how, let's see, it's right here. He says, he spent a year with his grandparents before joining his mother in Austria. She came and got me when she finally had a job and established herself enough there in Vienna. The anxiety he felt about losing her continued even after they were reunited. She was working. She was playing piano at night when she could, and then she was teaching piano all day long. So at 9 or 10 years old, I was taking the trolley to school myself. I was taking the subway back myself. Then I was coming home and I was alone. And I would have to make myself food, and I'd do my homework, and I'd wait for her to come home. That was a lot of alone time for a kid in a foreign country. He learned independence, but it scarred him too. I remember waiting for her to get home and worrying, what if she doesn't come home? I can see how that's worked against me in certain ways, and how it's totally benefited me in other ways. You have a lot of time with your imagination when you're a kid like that, alone. So I feel I'm very good at using my imagination to believe certain things, which helps me in a way. But then there are times where I'm feeling a degree of uncertainty and a lack of control over my life, and that can be paralyzing. I'm just gonna hug this really quickly. Hold on. Yep, there. I'm just gonna hug that really quickly because I feel that on a very deep, 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 deep sense. And I'm not gonna say I was ever like in it. My experience was never that extreme, and so like I read this and it makes me feel for him. But it's just interesting, like, how much I relate to him on that sense, because, like, when I was growing up, I remember always being alone, too. Like, there would be times when my mom would work all long hours. I never saw her come home. Like, and the times that she would be home, I'd rather, like, it would, like, be my bedtime, or, like, she'd be too tired, like, I just don't remember, like, ever really like playing with her or like being around her because she was always working. And so that connection with her, although I like understood like why she was always working and stuff, like that feeling of being alone and being like independent was always there. And so like I had like other people around me 100%, but you can't really replace the time that you have with like parent, you know? So like I read that and I just felt I you know, like the dramaticness of like falling to your knees about something. That's how it felt, cuz it's just like this feeling of like, man, like all the times where I felt alone and I didn't really feel like I had anybody, I would just really truly just watch his movies. And he helped me with those times when I'd feel that way. And it is just that full circle feeling of like, wow, you are somebody that is so far away from me. You know, like you're this movie star and you are this celebrity that probably will never know who I am. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm sure at one point in time I will be able to see him and I will be able to thank him personally and tell him all the things that are like so great about him because he deserves to know, you know? Because he's just that great of a human being. The goose down of beautiful people, as Anthony Mackie would say. Um, and so it's kind of like this feeling of like, wow, there is an impact there. And I have to talk about it because I feel like I always have to explain myself when I talk about the people that I love that are like celebrities or singers or like actors or whoever, because I'm so I get so passionate about those things. I feel like I always have to defend myself, but I think that the main reason why I feel so connected to these stories is because of the fact that when I was feeling like I didn't really want to live my own life, I would just go and like turn that movie on, escape for a little bit, and then I'd be like, actually no, like and then I would always come out of it and be like, no, I am somebody. Like I'm gonna go do stuff. Like for instance, you know, Sebastian Stan, he was the first person, like the first actor that I ever watched, and I went and realized like, oh, acting is art. That is an art form, right? And so when I first like went into high school and like they had the musical, like they had like a choice to like audition for a musical or not. And if you were in drama, you were required to, but if you weren't, you could just go. And so I wasn't in drama for that first year. So what did I do? I actually auditioned. I don't think anybody knows this. I've never said it. I've never said this to anybody. I don't think. I auditioned because of the fact that I was like seeing Sebastian Stan, and like that was when I was getting into his interviews, and he started talking about like all this stuff that he used to do. So I just felt very motivated to be like, you know what, I'm gonna go audition for that, and I did. And then you know I auditioned for the next musical, and then like for all the other stuff that I did that was like also requiring an audition. It's kind of like, you know, he was like a silent motivator in the background for me when it came to those things. So you know I will always 100% respect him. I will follow him forever. He will always be my number one actor. Me just concluding this in a beautiful way. I'm gonna take another sip because I feel like it's necessary before I begin to cry. Yeah, it's so passionate, it's so funny, but thank you guys for listening this long and hearing my chewing for this boa. I really appreciate it. Um, yeah, like I just like I said, there's not enough words for me to fully describe like the impact and like just how much I really truly actually love him. Like that sounds so dramatic, but it's true. I mean, like it's already becoming like a 50-ish minute podcast about me just gushing about this man, but it's true. I mean, like I have had many days in my life where I'm like, man, like I don't know if I can follow my dreams today. And then I remember that there's somebody who did, and then he did it. And so it's just kind of this thing of like, oh, I can do it. Let me get up. It's just a motivating thing, you know, very inspiring. And also like I do have to say that like every single interview that I have watched of him, he always talks about the the characters of others or the writing of the movie or the movie itself, or like he always talks about the people around him. He doesn't often talk about himself when it comes to like those different things. And like that's just somebody who like really loves what they do, you know what I mean? Like or just loves the people around them. Very extremely thoughtful. It's in this magazine. Like they talk about how thoughtful he is. And so for him to always just think of others like that, I'm just so warmed by that thought, you know what I mean? Like it's just he's awesome. He's awesome. And I wanna end this with like a really cute note because I don't want it to be so serious at the end. But I do always love to see or listen to Anthony Mackie just like shower him with absolute love and adoration because that's how I feel about him as well. Um, there's like one particular video that I absolutely love of them where they just like do like a they're like showering each other with like compliments and it's just so funny. Um where is it? If you guys already don't follow me on TikTok or like any of my social media, go ahead and follow. I'm just gonna take this moment in time to say that if you haven't listened to my music and you're new here, go listen to it. It's on links for like everything. If you are interested, I do make that music. I do make a lot of it is inspired by everybody that I love. So you'll see that in a way of like I do often talk about love, but like I don't. If we're really gonna get into like that kind of dichotomy, there's really just nobody else that compares to just like every celebrity crush that I have. It's just like everybody else is just hot dog water to me, if you will. So I'm so passionate about everybody that I love in terms of acting, in terms of singing. I find inspiration everywhere else, you know. Those are the things that I like to spend my time on, you know, because I love my movies and I love my people. But yeah, they just like have these complimenting Sebastian Stan. I'm just looking at. Oh, this is it. Oh, thank God. Okay, sorry for like taking forever to look for it.
Out of strength.
Hold on.
You make me so happy I want to sit in your lap and cuddle.
No couch will ever be as firm and soft as your thighs.
You're like the goose down of beautiful people. You're warm and inviting.
I want to remake every romantic comedy with you.
You, my friend, are the scrambled eggs to my omelet. Sebastian, your personality would make a grown man smile.
So true though. It's so true. Yeah, that's how I feel about him. Honestly, I can't. Oh, what's?
Those eyes are just piercing.
Yeah.
Wait, did you match that? Did you wear that dress to match his eyes?
Was it
You
because
heard
of
about
you?
his eyes?
What is the nickname that Chinese fans have given me?
Oh, I don't know many Chinese fans. Old blue eyes, or let me see.
Oh, blue eyes, come
I call you Vanilla Sensation.
It is a.
Those steel blue eyes let you know where home is. You know what I'm talking about?
Hold on, I'm gonna like and favorite and comment this person and also just like follow. Hold on. Needed this. Your TikTok has made it into my podcast. Love you. I'm not gonna put the I love you. I think that's a lot. Hold on. Episode about Sebastian Stan. You're amazing. I feel like I love comment. Also, like I love commenting on your guys' TikToks. By the way, if whoever is listening to this, I love every single person who makes edits. I will follow you till the end of the earth. Like I literally love when you guys do this. I'm favoriting everything about this. And the other one too because it's so important to me. I like 100%. Like I am on TikTok and my entire For You page are these edits and they are these like things. So if that doesn't already like show you how much I just like just adore this, this is the first thing. It says it's from Harper0831 on the TikTok. Like it's already about Bucky Barnes. Like come on. And even the second one is that. So it's been serious this whole time. I just don't think I don't need to like prove it anymore. It's just so obvious at this point. Thank you guys for listening, for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want to follow the TikTok, go ahead. Everything is at Vivid Helene. Links will be provided down below as well if you want to listen to my music or just like see me on Insta. If you guys want to be friends, never ever hesitate to send me a message. I will be there for you. You guys are my girls, usually my fangirls, and I love it. Again, shout out to my friend Cass, and shout out to my friend Bree for wanting these episodes and supporting me and just being there and loving Sebastian Stan with me. But yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Pow, pow, pow. If you know where that reference is, you're a good one. But yeah, pow, pow, pow.